Good morning. Today you're going to hear another story about Miriam and her brother Moses and about their escape from Egypt.
The first scripture reading is selected verses from chapter 13, 14, and 15 of Exodus. Hear the word of the Lord. Pharaoh, let the people go. The shortest road from Goshen to Canaan went through the Palestine country. But God didn't lead them that way. God said, if they have to go into battle, they might change their minds. They might return to Egypt. So God led the people toward the Red Sea by taking them on the road through the desert. The people left Succoth. They camped at Etham on the edge of the desert. By day the Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud. It guided them on their way. At night he led them with a pillar of fire. It gave them light, so they could travel by day or at night. The pillar of cloud didn't leave its place in front of the people during the day, and the pillar of fire didn't leave its place at night.
The next part is from chapter 14 of Exodus, verses 5 through 10. The king of Egypt was told that the people had escaped. Then Pharaoh and his officials changed their minds about them. They said, "What have we done? We've let the people of Israel go. We've lost our slaves and all the work they used to do for us." So he had his chariot made ready. He took his army with him. He took 600 of the best chariots in Egypt. He also took along all the other chariots. Officers were in charge of all of them. The Lord made Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, stubborn. So he chased the Israelites as they were marching out boldly. The Egyptians went after the Israelites. All Pharaoh's horses and chariots and horsemen and troops chased them. They caught up with the Israelites as they camped by the sea. As Pharaoh approached, the Israelites looked back. There were the Egyptians marching after them. The Israelites were terrified. They cried out to the Lord.
The story goes on in chapter 14, starting with verse 19. The angel of God had been traveling in front of Israel's army. Now he moved back and went behind them. The pillar of cloud also moved away from in front of them. Now it stood behind them. It came between the armies of Egypt and Israel. All through the night the cloud brought darkness to one side and light to the other. Neither army went near the other all night long. Then Moses reached out his hand over the Red Sea. All that night the Lord pushed the sea back with a strong east wind. He turned the sea into dry land. The waters were divided. The people of Israel went through the sea on dry ground. There was a wall of water on their right side and on their left. The Egyptians chased them. All Pharaoh's horses and chariots and horsemen followed them into the sea. Near the end of the night, the Lord looked down from the pillar of fire and cloud. He saw the Egyptian army and threw it into a panic. He jammed the wheels of their chariots. That made the chariots hard to drive. The Egyptians said, "Let's get away from the Israelites. The Lord is fighting for Israel against Egypt."
We continue at the end of chapter 14 at verse 29 and finish our story in chapter 15. But the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground. There was a wall of water to their right side and to their left. That day the Lord saved Israel from the power of Egypt. The Israelites saw the Egyptians lying dead on the shore. The Israelites saw the amazing power the Lord showed against the Egyptians. So the Israelites had great respect for the Lord and put their trust in him. They also put their trust in his servant Moses. Pharaoh's horses, chariots, and horsemen went into the Red Sea. The Lord brought the waters of the sea back over them, but the people of Israel walked through the sea on dry land. Aaron's sister Miriam was a prophet. She took a tambourine in her hand. All women followed her. They played tambourines and danced. Miriam sang to them, "Sing to the Lord, he is greatly honored. He has thrown Pharaoh's horses and chariot drivers into the Red Sea." The word of the Lord. Thanks be to the God.
Modi's painting, Crossing the Red Sea, shows the waters closing over the chariots and Pharaoh's army. You can see the chariot, spear, and war mask on the right side. But the vibrant red and yellow outfits of Miriam and Moses are the real focus of the painting. Miriam's leading the dancing and celebration of God's victory over Egypt. I love the colors and the flowing outfits. Can't you just imagine Miriam leading all the dancing with more women and tambourines and scarves?